Chances are you've worked up a good sweat by now.
This is my college graduation blanket.
Nice. Where'd you go to school?
UNC in Greeley.
Nice. Oh,
Yeah.
Right, that's where all the Greeley connections are from.
Yeah, because that's where I'm from, and so
Oh, well, you grew up there too.
yeah. So I went to Dayspring Christian High School,
Okay.
and then I went to UNC for college.
Nice.
Yeah. What about you? You grew up in Minnesota.
Grew up in Minnesota. Went to college in Tacoma at a Pacific Lutheran University. which
Okay.
is, really, it's Christian in name only. Like only 20% of the student body identifies as Lutheran. But I really enjoyed it. I had a really good experience out there.
Nice. Yeah. What was like? What's the Lutheran part of the college?
It was founded. I can tell you all about. I was a tour guide.
Okay. No. Nice.
It was founded by Bugh Harstead, who
Okay.
Was from Minnesota originally. He was supposed to kind of start the Lutheran Church in Washington State.
Mm-hmm.
So he founded the Parkland area, basically, and PLU was sort of the only thing that was there for a while, and then they got like a post office and stuff. But it was like through, I don't know, like maybe it was like the 90s. It was very Lutheran. Like it was kind of your white Christian school. They had a really good D3 football team that would like go to the national championship all the time.
What is it about Christian sports that they're just so good at it?
Yeah, I think it's that.
It's the power of God.
It's the intertwining of like that discipline.
Yeah.
Where like you're told your whole life you have to follow these rules and do these things to get this outcome.
Yeah.
So that outcome being heaven, but in this instance where it's like if you want a national championship, you have to do this and this and this, and you trust your coach who is akin to authority like God or the Bible to get you there. So I feel like that might be
That's
why.
honestly a very good, yeah. I that tracks. Yeah, dude. Oh, I gotta fix this plant. It's bothering me. Yeah, because we were a Christian school, and our football team was pretty good for a while.
Ours sucks now. It's not good now.
Yeah.
We have other good sports. Like our volleyball team has usually been good.
Okay.
Both of men's and women's soccer. And our baseball team was pretty solid for a while. But, yeah, the football team was like a historic thing. So, and it was still, when I was there, it was still like part of the culture.
Yeah, totally.
It was interesting. But yeah, the school changed completely. When I was a student, it went from being 20% students of color to, I think it was like 50% students of color.
Oh, wow.
So, and it's because they switched from recruiting like nationally for students who were looking for liberal arts, Lutheran education to locally, because the Parkland area is super diverse.
Oh, okay.
So it was like that change really shifted some things, and the ideology of like the students was already shifting away from being like a predominantly Lutheran school by the time I got there. So
Nice. That's good, I think.
yeah, oh yeah.
Yeah.
No, I would say it's good. It's an interesting combination of students on campus because you got legacy students whose parents knew PLU is like, you know, good old boys type of school. There was, it was probably still more liberal than some of the other Christian institutions at the time. So those kids are there. And then you got like the football and sports guys, and then you've got like the liberal arts people. So,
Okay. So a good blend, a good diverse
yeah.
blend of people. That's cool.
And sometimes it was kind of divided because all like the science and sports kids would be on lower campus, 'cause that's where all their stuff was, and then all the like arts and liberal arts and humanities students would be on upper campus. So there was like a literal physical divide between interests on campus.
Yeah, interesting. I mean, yeah, if you're, I mean, that makes sense though. If I'm designing a campus, I'm like, you can't spread it all out.
No,
That would be crazy.
It makes sense to put Well, and the dorms are going to become like the theater kids aren't going to go live down
Right.
far away. They're
Right.
Like, I'm going to live near the theater.
Where the classes, where I need to go. Yeah. That's kind of how UNC has like, it was like the old South part. And then that's where like the theater was, like the theater program and a lot of the arts programs. And then I was in English and film. So like I was living on South and then, longboarding up to North campus for my classes and stuff mostly.
Okay.
But those were like mixed, like, all your, general like 101 classes you had to take were up there, and then all my English classes were up there.
Okay.
And then occasionally I would go South for something, but that was also where the business school was, and I didn't have much to do down in the South part.
Interesting.
Yeah.
That's interesting. Yeah, it's funny how like there's even on a micro level like university there's cultural divide.
Yeah. Yeah. And we were in a very big like sports school, really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, in universities I feel like have sort of especially with our generation like Gen Z started to get away from tradition because they don't like tradition.
Yeah, that's
and
true.
There's a lot of problematic things about tradition, but there's also really, really good things.
Yeah, absolutely.
And there was sort of like a wholesale rejection of tradition at my school. So there was nothing that there were like holding doors was the thing that everyone did on campus. You held doors for people.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then there's maybe a couple other things.
Sure.
But otherwise, that was it for a universal experience.
Was there any Greek influence?
The Greek life was divided by like interest. So instead of it being like a Greek house, the university didn't have Greek life. They had like baseball house, football had a house, theater had a house.
Interesting.
People in like, because it was like the people who took classes together got to know each other, and then they would get a house together off campus.
Right. Yeah, that makes sense.
And then for like describing the parties, you'd be like, oh,
You go
the
to
baseball
the baseball
house is
house.
throwing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and then the house would pass down from like baseball teammates to then the younger teammates would move into the baseball house.
Oh, interesting. Yeah. So there's still clubs.
It's still
there's still like
a
that
pseudo
thing.
fraternity system.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, it's the exact same thing we would do, just except it was just like under a fraternity thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. So like, were you raised like Christian in Minnesota?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, you didn't really have an option, I would say, in my hometown. There's so many churches per capita in my hometown. I watched a kid who someone found out he didn't believe in God, and a bunch of guys like harassed him, like, threatened him, and it was crazy. I grew up really religious. I think my relationship with religion has changed a lot since I was a kid, but it was very much like a part of the culture.
Yeah,
of,
absolutely.
Like, that's what you do. Like youth group is like how you spend your Wednesday night.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Yeah. Was that like, so like, I'm just trying to relate to, my experience as well, because like I was raised in a church, and like I don't know if I feel like we had pretty similar upbringings, and like when did you start to kind of like peel away from the church, but also like get more interested in stand up, and like do you see any correlation there?
I don't think they're directly correlated. I think that they are coincidentally correlated.
Okay.
But I think that when I was probably like a junior or senior in high school, I started to like have a lot of questions, and I wasn't satisfied with the answers that I was getting. And
What made you have questions?
Well, just like when you get into the nitty-gritty of things, I mean, there's plenty of things that are unanswered in the Bible, and there was some stuff that I didn't feel like I agreed with what the church leadership was saying about it. I'd be like, well, why? Or why is this?
Yeah.
And it was because it essentially came down to because that's our interpretation. So that's what it is.
Yeah.
And we're right.
Yeah.
And everyone else
shut
is
up.
wrong.
Stop
Yeah,
asking
yeah.
questions.
And so there was like no wiggle room. And then I almost don't even want to say this because I'm a huge advocate for education. I think that everyone needs to go to education, but it has such a stigma of being like, you go to college and then they ruin your life. They destroy your belief system and they indoctrinate you. And that wasn't my experience. But it did allow me to have a little bit of space from that community where church is everything that you do.
Yeah.
And
Absolutely.
to be exposed to some other ideologies, most of which I ended up disagreeing with, but it helped me be like, wait a minute, that sounds just like this thing that is also in Christianity. And then just like as I left Minnesota and seeing more forms of Christianity, being like, oh my gosh, these people are being taken advantage of, like the prosperity churches. And so, yeah, I still couldn't tell you exactly where I stand. I think I'm still figuring it out. I still go to church occasionally, but it's definitely a very different mentality than when I was a kid.
Yeah.
Because when you're a kid, it's like, these are the answers.
Yeah.
This is 100% what it is.
Yeah.
And then after
This
you start
is
to
water.
yeah.
This is what keeps you alive. You
Yes.
know? Yeah.
And I think as I've gotten older and I've experienced more of the world and other people's perspectives and other people's situations, and you start to be like, wait a minute, this maybe doesn't add up. Like what I was being told, or the way that they did this was harmful to people. Like the way that they went about saying like this is what you should and shouldn't do was like, oh, that actually seems very sexist the way they did that, or that's very like problematic. That there was a movie where it pictures the rapture and everyone just disappears. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
And they showed that to like little children.
Yeah.
So as a little
remember
child,
that movie,
you
yeah.
were worried about your salvation
Yeah.
and like going to hell. And like all like your parents just being disappear, like it's like life and death, and you're
Yeah.
like 8 years old.
Yeah.
So there are just a lot of things that today I disagree with.
Yeah.
In particular with like the church and how churches are run. So
Yeah, and like I'm very similar where like I still have respect and high regard for the church and like the communities and like the good things that come with that.
because there are good things.
Yeah,
there
absolutely.
Are.
Yeah. We're not
I
throwing
have to remind myself of that
of course.
sometimes.
This
yeah.
isn't all churches. This isn't everybody's experience with it by
Yeah.
any means. But you're right. Like I do say like people that I grew up with, a lot of times like the pressure of that like mentality and that like what to do with your life and how to conduct yourself, and like God's always watching and you're sinful, and like that was like a lot of pressure to deal with. And then like when you start to become an adult and like make your own choices and stuff, and like you know, oh, I'm gonna go drinking with my friends, you know, like something like that, and it's like, oh, I fucked up, like I'm the worst, you know, and like that pressure, and like I saw a lot of people like kind of have an identity crisis because like they didn't have the proper tools in their brain to like think critically for themselves.
Yeah, and I think there's a difference too between dogma and what's actually in the Bible.
Yeah.
And there are many things that are taught as being like black and white. This is what it is.
Right. Yes.
But it's maybe not, and a lot of it is around guilt and control. A lot of it's around sex.
Yeah.
Where you can interpret
sexual
it to
part
mean
too,
something, because there are many different interpretations of the Bible.
Yes.
Even just the English versions, you could read all of them and come away with a different belief system.
Yeah.
Just because of the way that it was translated.
Yeah. The history
So-
of the Bible and how it all came to be and how it went through the Catholic Church.
Oh, don't
and,
even
like,
get me going, dude. I'm like, I don't even want to be recorded saying this because everyone will come for me. But when you get into it, there's a lot of stuff where you're like, oh wow, maybe I shouldn't like be so judgmental of someone who believes X or Y and Z.
Totally. Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, comedy really helped me loosen up that sort of constriction in the judgmentalness and stuff, where it's like, oh man, like, because when I was like young and joining the comedy scene and stuff, and like I'm hanging out with degenerates and like alcoholics and stuff, and I'm like, these people make me feel so welcome and so like seen and not judged, you know what I mean? And that kind of like that kind of helped me like get some air, you know?
Yeah, I think that comedy, it was a little different for me in the Northwest because everyone was so much older than me. I started at 21. I actually started doing a talk show on my campus. I did like a parody late night show.
Oh, cool.
So we ended up getting pretty cool guests, like Phil Harmonic, who won the acapella sing-off show on NBC.
Oh, wow.
Was like on our show. We had the mayor. We had like city council people. We had like local musicians were just so down to like come play if they were free that night.
Nice.
We couldn't compensate them in any way because they're just students with no budget.
Yeah.
But that's when I first started like trying to write monologue jokes, and I was so bad at first that I was like, I need to figure this out. But I think the growth in me not feeling as judgmental towards people, I think comedy played a role in that, but I think it was honestly just like meeting someone who has a lifestyle that like I would be taught would be just horrible growing up. And you're like, oh my gosh, you're the nicest person I've ever met. And maybe like a thing you're doing is maybe not good for you or whatever, but
Sure.
like you're so caring and loving. And growing up, I probably would have been taught to like hold them at arm's length. Like don't let them near you. Don't let them infect you with what they're doing.
Yeah.
But yeah, the comedy community in Denver, especially, I find to be so. I've heard it hasn't always been this way, but I found it to be so supportive and welcoming in a way that in the Northwest I did not experience. There's like the Seattle freeze out there, super real, and everyone was so much older than me. It was like my friends were all 10 years older than I was.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the other people who were my age doing comedy, there weren't many. I would be like, I don't like you.
Yeah.
So it was interesting, but coming out here, like every show, I'm like, oh great, I get to see that person, I get to see that person on the show.
Totally.
And people are coming out to me being like, oh, I like what you did there, and like talking things through in a way that's just like respectful. And obviously there's things that happen. It's a comedy, it's a community, like any community, there's things that happen.
Yeah.
But on the whole, I've really enjoyed being in Denver, and the people that are a part of the comedy scene for the most part are awesome. Yeah.
What made you come out here?
So my wife, who I met at college, she is an actor, and in the Northwest, she doesn't do musicals. And we were living in Tacoma, and we didn't really want to live in Seattle. And Seattle's theater scene, honestly, is like okay. So we thought we would try another city, and we didn't fully know what we were getting, but we thought Denver checked a lot of our boxes. So we came out here, and she actually just got cast in her second union contract after coming out here, and her goal was to get one by the time she was 30. So she's already doubled that. And
what is it? It's a
union contract.
Oh, okay.
So it just means that the theater meets certain standards and hires a certain number of equity actors so that they get a union grade.
Oh.
So usually the pay is better, and it can help you work your way towards getting into equity. So that's like what you want to be working is at union houses.
Okay. Nice.
And then it ended up being a really amazing move for stand-up for me.
Yeah, dude. Yeah.
Yeah, I've really enjoyed it. There's so much opportunity here.
Especially for a guy like you with chops, you know.
Well, thanks.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's and you can actually make money. Like if you move to New York to try to get good, it's like, well, you're gonna lose money. You're gonna be like dealing with all these other things in here.
That's what I've been learning recently. Is that like not everywhere pays as well as here.
No, you can make money in the city. Like you don't have to leave, and you can make like a decent enough money, depending on what you want out of comedy and what you want to make. You know, that's relative, of course.
Yeah.
But
yeah, you can make a decent like. It's like not only doing comedy, but you're getting rewarded for it financially.
Yeah,
like that's huge. Like that keeps you going. Like that makes a huge difference in a comedian's life. Like where you don't have to stress so much about like because if sometimes like you can't do comedy because you got to pay bills and you got to like work or you got to focus on something else. And like if comedy can support that, then like even better. You know?
Yeah, I mean it's helping me pay down my student loan right now.
Let's go
with all the student loan politics and stuff. Yeah, we're just like let's get rid of it.
Yeah,
so we're doing everything we can, and comedy has been huge for that.
Loans
Usually, I'm really strategic about what I do with the money I make from comedy to like try to do it, put it towards fun stuff, save stuff for doing things like the special.
Yeah.
But right now, 100% of it's going towards the student loans, so it feels unsatisfying in some ways because it's just like gone.
Yeah, right.
But hopefully, we'll be able to get our loans paid off like years faster.
Wow.
From doing that. So
nice. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
And this is your second special.
Yeah. Second special. Yeah.
Congrats.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's exciting.
Yeah. Coming out Thursday, January 15th.
Okay.
At 12 p.m. Pacific time.
Nice.
The first one, Minnesota Nice, we filmed in my hometown, and then this was filmed in Tacoma at the dive bar where I first started doing regular open mics.
Okay, that's cool. It's a full circle moment.
Yeah, it's been fun to kind of like go back to. It was fun to go back to my hometown and do it there.
Yeah.
And it's like complete opposite vibes. Like that it's like the average age of that crowd was like 55. It was in like a theater that was too big for what we were trying to do. And so it feels much stiffer. And this is in a tiny dive bar. We have like 45 people there. We did it in just one show. We didn't do multiple shows.
Cool.
And
How long was your set?
a half hour.
Okay.
Yeah. After doing the first one, normally it was about like 45 minutes of material, but the crowd was not as warm as I was hoping it would be. So it still went well, but it was more like 38 minutes. And then I felt like, I was like, I don't know why I tried to go as long as I could. I should have just done, because it doesn't help really on the internet. If I had a huge following, then an hour makes sense because I'm going to have people that are watching the hour.
Sure.
But a half hour, I'm hoping, will be just easier to digest and might help me get more views because it's shorter.
Yeah, and I bet that was a different experience for you recording that too and performing that.
Yeah, and I feel like right now my material is so much tighter, and oftentimes when you do a longer set, I have not mastered this, but you should give the audience like a chance to breathe and catch up with you. But
That sucks though. I hate doing that. Like I did a 20 last night.
Yeah.
And I got to like minute like 12 or 14 or something, and I did this bit that I've been working on for like the last 2 months.
Yeah.
That, like in shorter sets, it's been really fun, and it's been I wouldn't say killing, but like it's fun. It's doing okay.
Yeah.
And then I just got nothing for like 2.5 minutes. And I was just like, God, this is the part where you guys have to breathe, I guess. Like,
yeah, and
because then my closer was fine. Like I closed strong, but like that chunk right before the closer, I was like, oh, I hate how this feels right now. Like you guys are not like laughing that rolling that I had like 2 seconds ago, you know?
Yeah, and when you've got a smaller, like when I filmed the special, the main part of the room was 35 people, and when you have, I'm lucky that the crowd was with me.
Oh yeah,
because
and that room that you posted, like I saw, and it looks like small and round. Like,
yep, it's small and round. I mean, it's a great room. When you fill it in, your shows can go really well. I thought the special went very well.
Yeah,
but also the odds of over 50% of the room sitting a joke out go way up, and that's why if you're in a big room, it's way easier to kill, because if you've got 30 people out of 150 who need a moment or have like dazed off for a moment or whatever.
Yeah.
120 people is still great.
Yeah.
But in a room of 35 people, if 20 of them decide they need a moment, you've got 15 people that are listening to the joke. So, I feel like with a half hour, it was much more manageable. If I would have needed to have thought about it more strategically, but this felt like I'm doing jokes, I'm doing tight jokes.
Yeah.
The Minnesota Nice felt a little more, I'm trying to think, like a fully put together thing, like a clear beginning, middle, and end, like with callbacks and all this stuff.
Yeah.
Whereas this was like, no, I've been working on this half hour. I've been making it as tight as possible. I've been trying to make it kill in every room, and I'm just gonna come here. I'm just gonna as many punchlines as I can, get it in, and I think it turned out amazing. I'm really happy with how it came out. And I also feel like Denver, it's harder to work on sets longer than a half an hour because the number of sets that you can get over a half an hour are far fewer.
Yes. And
there's not like a huge need to have 45 minutes, an hour, unless you're headlining the clubs.
Right. And there's very rarely do you see like the 2-man show where it's like one guy does 20 and the other person does like an hour 10 or something like that.
Yeah.
Like, that's not a thing as much anymore. Like
no.
Not unless you do the road.
Yeah,
but,
if you're doing the road and you need to be efficient with money, then it makes sense.
Yeah.
But, and I kind of like it though because Denver pushed me to be tighter. In the Northwest, there was a huge emphasis on length because they do have a lot more. Headliner does 45, feature does 25, host does 10 to 15.
Yeah.
And that's your show. Yeah. And that's what every show is built around. Whereas Denver is more showcasey, where you might have
fewer comics up in the Northwest too.
Fewer comics, and you're having to drive further for a lot of the shows.
Yeah.
Not everything is centralized.
I went to Boise and they were like, yeah, I'm doing a show up here in this town. I'm doing a show down there in this town. They're all like hour, 2 hours away. Yep. And there was like a core group of comics up there that would just like travel super far with like 2 or 3 guys. Yeah. I would maybe do a handful of shows in a year in Seattle living in Tacoma.
because Seattle just is not as good of a comedy town as Tacoma is, honestly.
Wow.
And they do have some really good rooms. I like going to club comedy out there. They've got, I mean, I haven't worked at a lot of the clubs up there, but then in Tacoma, Nate Jackson's is great. They have 2 clubs, and Seattle has 3, and one of them is Club Comedy, which is more of a boutique room. It fits 80. So you've really only got 2 large major clubs.
Yeah.
For a city as big as Seattle. Like, that's crazy. Denver has like 5.
Yeah. That's true. Yeah. Are people in the like Northwest, like, are they harder audiences, or like is there just not as a, you know what I mean? Like between like a Midwest audience, they're just all, they love to see
Midwest
comedy,
is
you know,
If you're touring and doing shows just in the Midwest, I think your idea of what is funny is probably a lot different than
yes
other places.
That's what I mean.
In the Northwest, it depends on where you are. It is genuinely so different everywhere you are. Portland is distinct from Seattle. Tacoma is much more of like grit city, way more blue collar vibes. You've got the military base close by. And so Tacoma's crowds were usually a lot better and more forgiving and letting you kind of take them around. Whereas Seattle, I mean, I don't know if the listeners will understand this, but you will. It's more like doing Boulder. Where there's a little bit more of just like a tightness, a little bit of not trusting where you're going to go, worried that you might actually be a bad person and they're going to end up laughing at a joke that they're like, oh, that was bad. No, I shouldn't, you know. But in the mountains, it's great. I'm actually doing a run out in the Northwest. I'm not doing any clubs. I'm just doing rooms, and none of them are in Seattle proper. I'm just kind of dancing around, and I've high hopes because of that all of them are going to be really fun. Because even if you just go to like Bothell, like just north of Seattle, it's way easier.
Bothell?
Yeah, I don't know what it is, but it's great rooms to go work on your chops. See what that kind of audience, how they react to those jokes.
That's how I feel about Wyoming.
In the opposite spectrum, you're saying? Yeah.
Well, the opposite spectrum, where it's like, but it's just a great place to go that's not here to work on longer sets, basically. Yeah. Well,
and it's great in Colorado, too, is that Colorado is also sort of a hodgepodge of, it's not as extreme, I would say, as some of the things in Seattle where you've got like totally diametric, that's the right word, I think, belief systems. Whereas here, I think people are a little more, I'll use the word moderate.
Sure.
But you can go down to the Springs and do loonies, and you've got, it's a little more purple, but it's more conservative. You're going to have more of the Army people. You can do the rooms in Denver, and each one is a little bit different. You can go up to Fort Collins and get sort of that. You can go to Boulder. You can go up to Casper. So there's, within driving distance, you can really test your jokes on a lot of different types of crowds, which totally. I think is another great thing about living here.
Yeah. So that 30 that you recorded, was that over the last year since you recorded your last special, or? Yeah,
I had close to the 30 that I did. I'll be honest, it's 28. It's just shy of 29 minutes actually. So it's not actually 30.
Well,
so I recorded in 2023. 22. The Minnesota Nice.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So this was...
Man, time flies by. That's crazy.
Yeah, and maybe I'm a little bit off on that. So it was about 2 years worth of material. Is what was in that. So
2 years worth in Minnesota Nice?
No, no. Minnesota Nice was my first 6 years.
Okay.
And then this totally new, the next about 2 years of material, I would say. Yeah.
Wow. So when did you know it was ready and you wanted to do another recording?
Well, I'm very fortunate, and not all comedians get to have this, which is partially why I am able to record specials, is I have a friend who's a videographer who wants to do them. Yeah. So instead of it being like, I gotta pay a videographer and he's like, no, I want to do this with you. He's such a good friend. He's like, I want to do it, and this will help you. Let's figure it out. Yeah. So we go in on it together, and we do everything as a team. Mm-hmm. And he was sort of like, so when are we doing the next one? I want to do another one. Let's figure it out. Yeah. So that puts a little pressure on me. Okay, we should figure out what the next thing's gonna be. And we had kind of been talking after I sort of had the first 20 20, 25 minutes. Some of that ended up getting cut out and replaced by other things. I was like, okay, I feel confident that, in a year I'll be able to have the half hour I'm looking for. And I even said, I was like, you know what? If I try for a half an hour, we record it and we have to cut, 5 minutes of jokes that just weren't ready, I'm okay with that if that's what we want to do, because YouTube, sometimes 20 minutes is like prime for a video.
Yeah, totally. All the don't tells are 10 minutes.
Yeah. So I was like, you know what? If that's what it ends up being, that's what it ends up being.
Yeah, it's high quality and it's just fire material. Like, great. Like, yeah.
So but I was fortunate where there were not any jokes that we had to redo.
Nice.
We reshot one joke. And it was very funny where it was just one show. So like the show ended and I walked up and I was like, hey guys, we're going to redo this one because you did okay. But like, we're going to do it again. And it was really fun because
do a little better this time.
Yeah. Well, it made it really natural because it was towards the end when people were starting to to get a little tired. And so I was able to like crowd work into it. We riffed on it. Like we talked to each other, got them re-engaged.
Yeah.
So it was like setting that joke up for success and doing it again. And the way that we did, I'll probably post the clip of how the riff went at some point. But it like totally brought the energy back into it to then really end it how we wanted to. So
yeah, it's like watching somebody do like a skateboard trick or something. And like, they're like, I'm going to get it. Like, watch this. And then everyone's like, oh, watch, he's gonna get it. Like, and then when you land it, it's like it's almost like better the second time. Like,
yeah, I would say some similar to that. It made it more fun, honestly. I think for everyone there, especially for this particular joke that's a little more tongue in cheek. Everyone was like, and then I gave them an extra look, and they're like, all right. But
that's sick.
Yeah.
So like when you're like, when you're writing, like how do you choose, like, because I'm sure you had other stuff that you didn't use that like
there were like 3-ish jokes that didn't make it that were like close to being done, and really it was funny. I did one of Matt Greenwald's rooms where it's like at a community in like a really rich area. And my set went really well, and these 2 jokes kind of like and frequently they'd been sort of like, I don't really know when it's going to work. It's been really random. When they do work, they're very fun. And they didn't fit the vibe of kind of what I was doing. One is about Tim Allen being a cocaine dealer. And so that one didn't make it. I don't think I'm going to keep working on that one. I put enough effort into it where I've gotten it to work. I'll post the clip at some point of when it did work at a different show.
Sure.
And then the other one is the premise is about me getting pranked into drinking another kid's urine. And I was like, it seems like a lot, and if I go for it and people aren't on board, then it like ruins the whole momentum of the half hour. So I think based on what I've been writing, that might fit a little better with already what's coming next. But we'll see. Maybe I'll use it, maybe I won't.
That first 6 years for your first special, was that like the best of everything that you had? And like, when did you?
That was everything I had.
That was everything?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
I was trying to do 45 minutes. In my head, I was like, I gotta do 45 minutes. That's what I gotta do. I gotta prove, because I was like, then I could send it to clubs. They can see 45 minutes. I learned that either they like you or they don't. They don't care if it's 40 minutes long, really.
Yeah.
They can tell in 40 minutes that you can do 45.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was everything that I had done. And part of it was strategic. There were maybe a couple of jokes in there that I was like, oh, I maybe could have, that kind of fit what I ended up doing after. But it was mostly stuff that like I started writing when I was 21.
Yeah, so this is kind of like what I'm curious about is like I have a lot of jokes that are old.
Yeah.
And it was like the first, so like last year before, I was doing like, I did a couple of 30s and I'm like, okay, I can do 30. Like I can like stretch and make it happen. And then over the last 6 months, I have about a newish like 20 and I'm like, okay, this is what I'm doing right now. But like all that old stuff, like I haven't been doing it for a while and it's not like, it doesn't resonate with me super hard, but I don't want to like just discard it and like not ever do it again. You know what I mean? Like, but I don't get enough like longer reps of like 30s and 40s where I have the need to bring it out. Like I can just do the 15 new that I'm working with right now. So it's like, what do I do with all this old stuff, you know?
All right. Well, my 2 cents, which might
Yeah.
mean nothing, is what was nice is when I moved to Denver. People usually advise me move to a new scene. I mean, maybe find a mic where it makes sense, where you kind of like have gotten to know everybody. But really, you should be doing jokes that work everywhere, even at really shitty open mics. Like you should be doing stuff so that people see you and go, "Oh, he's funny." Because it takes so many times of somebody seeing you be funny before they're like, "Oh, he's funny." You know, it might take 4 or 5 times of a booker seeing you do like decent, or like to see that your jokes are jokes at an open mic before they might take a chance on you.
Yeah.
So if if the first time they see you, you're doing your new thing about whatever, that's not going to work. They're going to be like, "Oh, this is just some guy." They might think you're new. They might think you've never done comedy before.
Yeah. That's how I felt when I first got to Denver, and I didn't I was just working with what I had, and like I literally one time I left my phone in the back on accident.
Oh, and you heard them?
Yeah, and they were intentionally. They knew I left.
Okay.
So it wasn't like I overheard them.
That would have been so funny.
Yeah.
How defeating to like, "Oh, I left my phone back here," and be like, "God, this guy sucks.
Yeah.
Who does he think he is? He's doing a poor man's like whatever." Like,
yeah, and it was 2021, so it was like a very weird time for. Like everyone was just getting back into the mics and stuff. Things were just reopening.
Yeah.
And they were literally just giving me the worst shit. Just like, "You're definitely new," like and stuff like that. And I'm just like, "I'm not." But okay. Yeah.
Yeah, it's tough to transition, but I think it definitely like helped. And what I did though, because I was doing all the old material, was I was just trying to write on that. I was trying to figure out, is this good? And I was doing it at open mics. And it helped me, I think, get the material to as good as it was going to be. And typically what I found happens is when you start writing jokes that are better than all of the old jokes, then it's time to bring those old jokes up to par, or they just need to go. If they can't get up to the level of the jokes that you're currently doing, then it's probably time for them to be done, or to sit somewhere so you can come back and write on. I can't tell you. I think I've had like 4 or 5 jokes come back that I wrote in like my first year that like half worked, that now I've come back to, and like they've been great, and I've had a ton of fun doing them.
Yeah, sometimes new context can like revitalize like
it just takes
joke.
a new perspective on it. So my 2 cents would be to take the stuff that you aren't doing anymore because you don't relate to it or whatever. And even if you don't relate to it as much, if you're able to make it funny, or maybe find a new angle, like why don't you relate to it? Maybe the premise still kind of works, but you can bring something new to it and get that to the level of the jokes you're doing now. And then if you decide to record it, because you don't want to record jokes, there's a reason you don't do them anymore, you know?
Right.
So you want to get those to a point where it's worth doing.
Yeah.
And when I recorded, that was everything I had done. And there were some jokes in there that like I had a bedwetter joke, and I'm just like, I'm like, now that I think I was like 26, and I'm like, I can't keep talking about how I wet the bed until I was like 12 or whatever. Like, I can't.
Yeah.
So like that was a good joke to be like, I don't want to tell this ever again unless I absolutely have to.
Yeah.
But it was like one of my tightest jokes at the time.
Yeah.
So I feel like that's constantly what you're doing. And like when I write a new joke that I can't get up to the level of the other ones, like the same thing happens. I feel a little differently now that with the way that I'm writing, that I am able to, the difference between the jokes I was doing and the jokes where I'm at is not as drastic as when I was in my first like 5 years.
Yeah, totally.
Like year 1 to 2 to like 4 to 5.
Yeah.
Your 1 to 2 year jokes, if you aren't going back and buffing those up and getting them up to your new, like they're not going to continue to work.
Right.
Like you're going to do that joke compared to one of your other ones. And of course, like people might have laughed at that in the past, but if you do it after a really good joke, they're going to be like, what the hell was that?
Yeah.
You just did what was this? You know, they're not going to laugh at that.
Yeah.
So, that's what I would say, is to go back, buff them up, see if you can get them to a point where you're willing to do them, at least in longer sets, or get to a point where maybe when you are ready to record them.
Yeah.
Because I felt like I was ready to to move on from that style, I think it's not super noticeable to other people. I don't know. But to me, it was a little bit more of like, I was raised very religious and naive, and here I am in the world,
right,
and operating,
yeah.
and let me talk about all this stuff, and sort of like bright-eyed, bushy-tailed stuff. And
yeah.
there's an element of that still in my comedy, but I think it less so leans on my youth than what the other stuff did.
Yeah.
And I do it at clean shows and things, so like they still work, and there are still jokes that I enjoy doing, but there are some that I'm like, I will not do, like the bad weather one. I'm like, I will not do that unless I have to do it.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah,
that makes sense. How do you like balance like, doing stand up and your job and your relationships with like your family and your wife and your friendships and stuff like that?
Well, precariously. I think that balance whilst doing something like this is a separate skill that you learn. There's been times where I've been out of balance, and I can feel that I'm out of balance, and I have to go, is this going to continue? Is this a temporary thing? Or do I need to think about ways that I'm like, okay, man, I have been super booked, which is great.
Yeah.
But also I have a wife that I love and gives my life meaning in a way that stand-up comedy never could.
Oh.
So how do I make sure I'm investing in her and spending
right.
time with her, because that matters to me.
Right.
I'm going to feel less fulfilled if I don't have that.
Yeah.
And I think friendships has been the thing that's been difficult outside of comedy. I do have them, but it was very funny. I had a guy, I did a yoga class that my wife is a yoga instructor.
Uh-huh.
And this guy, we were talking afterwards, and he's like, hey man, do you like want to hang out sometime? And I was like, listen. And I told him, like, I'm very busy, like, it's tough. And he's like, I appreciate you being upfront with me. And it was very much like someone asking, like, you want to go out with me? And being like, hey, listen, I'm just not in a place. Like, you seem like a great guy. But like, it was very much like that. But he was very cool. He was like, thanks for being upfront. Totally
That's so
get
funny.
it.
That's so true that's true about male friendships too. It's just like, listen, man, like, as much as I want to, like, I just can't,
I'm not going to be able to put into this what I want to.
Yeah.
And we have friends that, like, we see, once every 3 months, and like they understand.
Yeah, totally.
So I feel like I've had to like lay the groundwork to be like, we like you, we want to hang out with you, but also we don't want you to come into this thinking like, I need this if we're gonna be friends.
Yeah.
And I have friends from college and stuff that I still love to call and talk to. And I get a lot of fulfillment from that. And there's, way less pressure when you live 4 states away to be like calling every week.
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
But I think it's learning, and it's always going to change. Like eventually, hopefully, you get to a point where you are now more busy doing comedy than you ever were before.
Mm-hmm.
And now you need to figure out what that new balance is. Does that work with my partner or who I'm married to or whatever?
Yeah.
And sometimes it's like you do it and you find out, oh no, it's not. It's not working.
Yeah.
And I think it's easy with something like stand-up comedy because there's this perceived, eventually I will get somewhere and get total fulfillment out of this.
Yeah.
But it's so fleeting.
Yeah.
You talk to so many headliners who are like a huge deal. Like I was just talking to someone who'd been on the Tonight Show a bunch of times, and they didn't care. All they cared about was what was coming next.
Right.
They were not like, oh, truly life-changing, like seriously the best thing I've ever done in my life. They're like, yeah, I did that, check.
Yeah.
What's next?
Exactly. Yeah.
And
there's always another thing. Like it's always like you
Yeah.
reach a goal and then it's like, okay, I did it.
Yeah. And it feels good for like a little bit.
Yeah.
Like it does feel amazing.
Yeah.
But
and then
with
it's like, fuck, now I gotta do it again, or I gotta do it a different way, or I gotta do the next level of whatever's next. Yeah.
Yes. And with my marriage, I feel like I get so much fulfillment. I have someone who's always looking out for me and supportive of me. I have a best friend that I get to spend my life with. And there's no way that I would ever let comedy throw that away. So I need to make sure that it doesn't.
Right.
Because you've seen people who've thrown away relationships and all kinds of things in the pursuit of stand-up comedy.
Yeah.
But it's constant. Like I always am asking myself, what do I want out of this?
Yeah.
And what it comes back to is I'm like, I want to be as good as I can. I want to get really, really good at this and see where it takes me. And I've tried to shy away from setting like really, really hard and fast goals.
Yeah.
Because I find it just leads to disappointment.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I try to make it more like me-centered.
Yeah, because then you'll always be fulfilled with comedy if you're happy with the progress that you made with yourself.
Theoretically,
yeah. That's not always the case, but
yeah.
but instead of like some external thing,
Yeah.
because there's always another external thing, and external things
Yeah.
come and go.
They
like
come
the
and go.
Tonight Show used to be a huge thing,
Yeah.
and now it's like you do the Tonight Show, great, like
Yeah.
cool,
Yeah,
like
great. You were probably already huge to begin with. Like that doesn't help you anymore. It used to launch you. It used to the Tonight Show,
exactly,
and half of America would see your set.
Yeah. And then you would tour for the rest of your life.
Yeah, on that credit.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then work. I'm very fortunate where my employer is very understanding, and I have a flexible enough schedule where I can say, hey, I have this thing coming up, or they don't necessarily ask questions. I can just be like, hey, I need this time off in 2 months to do whatever. Like,
yeah,
I'm going to Seattle, so I'm going to take this off, and I'll use my leave. Sometimes I can work from home if I'm out of leave or whatever, or work remotely. I mean,
yeah.
So I think having that job is really beneficial towards
100%. That's huge.
It's nice to. The road seems appealing sometimes, and like going full time, like there's all kinds of benefits, and I think you definitely get better as a comedian. But for like your overall happiness to like have a paycheck every 2 weeks or a month, where like I know that's gonna hit my account.
Yeah, that's huge.
Tough to beat.
Yeah,
tough to beat, especially when you like your job. Right now, I genuinely like my day job.
Okay, good. That's good.
Yeah, it's good. It's good. But when it sucks your soul out, then I think it's a different conversation.
100%.
So
I would not be. Yeah.
When I'm trying to balance stuff, I'm trying to consider all of these things, and I think it's a muscle to understand when you're overdoing something. That's kind of how I approach it.
Yeah, that's absolutely and I think like, we're both very fortunate to have like things like those jobs that like help you keep that balance, where it's like without like the current job I have right now, like if like you said, if it was soul sucking, like I wouldn't be in it. Like it took me a while to like I got really lucky with like that this job doesn't like take everything from me, because then I wouldn't be able to do comedy, and I would have quit. I've quit every job that asked too much of me, and I was like, this ain't it. Like
that's awesome. Because it's tough to do. Like it's tough to quit. It's when you've got the consistent income and you've got, you don't know if the grass is greener at another place.
Yeah. Well, this is my first big boy job, and I'm like, I'm not quitting this if like unless like it just becomes so unbearable. But like it's not, and so like and they give me that flexibility too. But like when I was like in college and stuff, like even that I was like, and thankfully my parents lived 15 minutes away, so I could like lean on them if I needed to. But like. I didn't want to, but there was like I was doing like serving jobs and stuff, and then like I was like, look, my time off, like you gotta respect that. If I put that in, like I need that, like And then there was one day where like they messed around too much with, and they're just like, no, like they took me for granted, like you'll show up if we don't approve your thing, and I'm like, no, like I won't. Yeah, dude, like this is I can serve anywhere. I can wait tables at any place. Like,
yeah, and that was a balance too. I feel like I learned. In college, where I was trying to balance the classes, I also had to work and doing comedy. I was in an improv troupe where we were doing like 4 to 6 hours a week of rehearsals with the stuff that I was doing.
That's a lot of improv.
It's a lot of improv, and I loved it, but I haven't gotten back in because I haven't wanted to find new people. Like I was doing 2-person improv with one of my best friends.
That's cool.
And so I haven't gotten really back into it. But I was a communication and theater major, so I was doing theater stuff, and I did a show, and I got the best supporting actor award.
Yeah.
And I didn't do another show after that. And the director, the head of our program, would be like, "Are you gonna audition for stuff?" And I'm like, "I can't, because then I can't do stand up. For 2 months."
Yeah. So, theater is a huge commitment.
Oh yeah.
Like they want you all in. Like that's not just like rehearsals. You're also hanging out with us until 3 a.m.
Yeah. You got the tech week stuff and rehearsal literally 4 or 5 nights a week.
Yeah.
Where you're there for 4 hours.
Yeah.
On top of your classes, on top of working. So
dude. Yeah.
Yeah. So that helped.
Yeah.
I think that college was really helpful, and obviously classes are more flexible than a job is, but there's so many things going on that you want to do. You
Yeah.
have to sort of prioritize what is it that I actually want to spend my time on.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. Is there anything that's been stretching you out of your comfort zone recently?
Training for a marathon.
Oh, whoa. That's big.
Yeah.
Training for a marathon. Why? You're
A great
insane.
question. A great question. I ask myself frequently. I ran 12 miles before I came here.
Whoa. Damn.
I was, because you had said, like, what's something that you had, before I got here, had said, like, think about what's something that stretched you. And I thought of a lot of things sort of periodically, but I was like, right now, this is definitely the number one thing. My wife was like, during the pandemic, was like, hey, we should try to do a half marathon. What do you think? And I was like, I don't know. And then we walk ran the first one, and then we ran another one. And from the start, she had kind of been like, do you want to try to do a marathon? And I was like, I mean, I guess if we're going to try to do it, we should do it like before we're 30 so that our body can like not be tortured.
Yeah.
And so it just kind of, we ran another half last year. And then, I just did my longest ever run last week of 15 miles.
Wow.
And then next week I have to do 18. And then 2 weeks after that, I have to try to get to 20. And that'll be my longest run before we then attempt to run the marathon. And
okay. Is this on a outside or on a treadmill?
Oh, a treadmill marathon? Dude, that's like...
I mean, like...
if someone is doing that, put them on suicide watch. Like, that is not something a mentally well person does. No, outside...
Just runs in place for 15
Oh,
miles.
my gosh. I mean, maybe you can run like a 2.5 hour marathon or something like that. Maybe. But, no, we're running it in California. We're trying to use sea level to our advantage.
Yeah, totally.
And Ventura is supposed to be a pleasantly downhill, so it shouldn't be hard on our knees, and it should be going from Ojai down to the beach. Okay. So we're trying to give every advantage we can.
Yeah.
But it is, I really appreciate the theme of your podcast, because anything good that has come in my life has come from doing something I was not comfortable with.
Yeah, totally.
Hosting the late night show that got me into comedy.
Yeah.
I had no right to be doing that. I was so nervous. Like, and everything was stand up. Even like starting to date my wife for the first time. I grew up in a household where if we were dating, it was like weird. Like my parents were weird about it. Mm-hmm. So, that was out of my comfort zone.
Wow.
Literally everything. Moving to Denver has been amazing for me personally and for comedy, and it was uncomfortable. Yeah. It was a scary thing to do. Going to college across the country was a scary thing to do. So literally everything has come from being uncomfortable, and the marathon is maybe not life-changing as the way that some of those have been, but man, the mental and physical challenge that it is insane.
Yeah.
After running 15, where you're just like the last mile, everything is telling you to stop, and you just have to keep going. It's been people are like, are you going to get into it? Are you going to be a marathon runner? I'm like, no, I'm not going to get... This is a thing you should never do. But we're doing it because everyone, it's not even cool to do in Denver. Like, literally everybody like, I'm running a marathon. And they're like, oh, which one? Like, they're not like impressed. They're just...
Which one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's your splits, dude? Slow. My splits are slow. Yeah. We're just trying to complete it. Yeah. It's miserable.
My middle schooler runs marathons with me.
Yeah. I'll be like, my son's gonna do it with me this time. Get out of here. Get out of here.
Shut up.
You're gonna hurt your 12-year-old's development. Don't have him run 26 miles. Nobody needs to do that.
Yeah.
But no, I'm gonna give it my best go. I'm trying to be at peace with the fact that I might need to like walk for a little while or something to get across the finish line.
Of course, yeah.
But it feels nice because I'm like, I'm not doing this ever again. I think I'll do halves and I'll do other races.
Sure.
But I don't think I will. There's no chance. It sucks. It takes up all your time.
Yeah. It's so much time. It's so time consuming to run that long. Like
today, like I'm not doing stand up tonight. I've got a Saturday free. So my wife is like, we're doing date night. We're doing something together.
Yep.
And so I ran the 12 miles. I'm coming here to do this.
Yep.
After this, there's an errand that Kaylee and I have to run. We have to go to the grocery store after that. and then we're gonna go do date night.
Yeah.
So now I'm doing all of that. Plus I ran 12 miles, and that's not even the long run at this point.
Yeah, you're gonna double that soon.
Yeah, literally more than double it, Jared.
More than double it. And how long was that 12 miles? Like,
How long did it take me?
Yeah.
I ran slower because there was snow everywhere.
right? Yeah, that's why I was curious because I'm like,
It was
there's snow on the
sucky.
ground. Like, yeah,
It was a sucky run, especially compared to how warm it's
Yuck.
been.
Yeah.
It sucked.
yeah, but yeah, those last couple of weeks like must have been.
Oh, it's so nice.
Really nice,
Forget it.
yeah.
Oh yeah, but it was like just over 2 hours of running, and our
Damn.
pace is not amazing. Like I'll probably run like 11.5-minute pace.
Sure. Well, yeah, you got to run 12 of them.
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
you run more. of them.
Well, 26.
26. Yeah.
And so yeah, like that's what we're doing. It's
Yeah.
nothing crazy that wise, but what sucks about that is you run longer. So the marathon will probably take me like 5 hours.
yeah.
Everything I'm saying to you, like usually when you're stretching yourself, there's a little bit of like gleam or excitement
yeah.
amongst the anxiety.
Right.
But for me, I'm just like, God, why am I doing this constantly? So yeah, I'm
Yeah.
excited to do it. I'm excited to have gotten it done. We're gonna hang out in Ventura for a little bit. It should be like a good little trip. It's our only trip we're taking this year to try to pay off our student loans.
Right.
Um,
Well, that'll be
But,
nice. And
yeah.
like, do you? When do you do your running? Is it like before work? Is it after?
I do my long run on
the
the
weekends?
weekends. I don't. You're supposed to do in most training plans 2 maintenance runs. I just do one. So I usually do that on like one of my work from home days over my lunch. I'll use that
maintenance
hour
run?
to. Yeah. So you have your. Do you know anything about running?
I
know very little, honestly.
I don't know.
But
I hate running.
So you have your long run for the week,
Uh-huh.
and your long run. You're supposed to do it in an ideal world where it's like, okay, you ran 10 miles this week. That's like what you're built up to already. So next week, you're going to push up to 12.
Uh-huh.
Now that you've pushed up to 12, you're going to run another 10. And now you're going to push up to 15. Like it's sort of where like you're
Yeah.
slowly getting your way up.
Yeah.
And also doing runs that are longer so that your legs aren't always being stretched. You're prone to injury when you do that kind of stuff.
Right.
And in between those, you're doing runs called maintenance runs that are helping you keep your legs healthy in between. So you're not pushing.
Yeah.
You're just getting out and you're going for runs that are usually like 50% of what you're running. I don't do 50%. It's too much time.
Yeah.
But
Just
yeah.
something to like. Yeah.
Yeah, it all depends on like what the running plan is that you're working on, and I
Yeah.
also think it depends on who you are and what your schedule is and what you can do.
Of course. Yeah.
We built up to this over 3 years deliberately because we knew we were going to have to do dumb stuff. So
Right, yeah.
we have that years of base.
yeah, and
to
like
work
building
with.
the habit and like building that like comfortability with being uncomfortable and like get
Yes.
like, all right, I'm gonna run. I know what this is gonna like. Putting on my shoes, getting dressed. Like I'm gonna do it. Like this
Yeah.
is part of my routine. This is part of my lifestyle.
Yeah, and running a half marathon seemed insane.
Yeah.
And now this year, before I run the marathon, will have run probably like 5 in like a
Wow.
month. in a month and a half.
Man, well, that's just crazy. Like that's such a testament to like, you know, if you put your mind to it, like, and you do it consistently enough, suddenly like something that seems so big to you is like just like I get that done in a weekend. Like, no problem.
It's crazy. It is
Yeah.
the first time I ran a half marathon when I was just training, and I was like, did I just do that?
Yeah.
It's fleeting, like stand up.
Right.
Like it's
Yeah.
fleeting. But and it's nice to have a thing you can control.
Yeah.
Everything is so, especially in, entertainment industry is so like somebody else has to like you. Somebody else has to give you the nod. Somebody
Yes.
else has to give you this opportunity.
Yes.
Social media, for all its negative things, does allow people to have a little bit of ownership where like I by myself can grow a following, and then that gets me into stuff.
Yeah.
But with running, but even then you're still putting in the algorithm decides what's
Right.
good. People decide what's good.
Right.
But I can run. I decide if I can run that amount.
Yeah.
And that feels great. And then, like you're saying, it's crazy how something that seems so impossible is all of a sudden regular.
Yeah.
And I think that happens in stand-up too, where
Yeah.
you have things where when you're first starting, where you're like, whoa, headlining a club or something, 45 minutes?
Yeah.
Well, you're delusional when you start. So you're probably like, I can do that in a year, no problem, whatever. But when you actually have a little bit of less delusion, And then all of a sudden you get to a point where like, oh yeah, anytime I can do a 45-minute set. Oh, you know, 45-minute clean corporate set? Yeah, whatever, sure, I got. Like, it's not a big deal.
Yeah, totally.
Whereas at one point you're like, oh no, what's everything I've ever said? Oh my God. And it goes like, okay. And you're like, I killed that. I did so good.
Yeah. I just did that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got a solid $45.
Yeah. Thanks, mister.
Chronically underpaid for a 45-minute set.
Yeah.
But that's what you deserve when you're, you know, when you really only have 30 and somehow you're pulling 45 minutes out. Like that, $100 is what you deserve for that.
Yeah. But then it's like, you could do probably like an hour 10 if you wanted to, or like, you know, like it's like that's your next thing, or like, you know, 5 shows in a weekend. Like that's another thing. Like that's another like step above, where it's like you're not just doing one, you're doing 1 tonight, 2 tomorrow, 2 on Saturday. Like that's also the next level too.
Yeah.
I never feel better at the second show. Like after the first show's done, I'm like, whew. And I'm like, fuck, I gotta do another one.
Yeah, especially if it's like a late show and there's 10 people and you're like, all right, we had fun and now we're not gonna. I mean, huge shout out to Ben Kroberg at the Comedy Lounge.
Yeah.
He allowed me the opportunity to headline a weekend before I recorded. And it was huge because the lounge has, I think, very honest crowds. I hate when comics are like, it's a hard room. It's like, no, if you go in there and you have good stuff, you're gonna do well. It like they get people in the seats. Like you just need to actually do your best stuff. Like don't come in there with like all new stuff. Maybe sprinkle it in, but see if your stuff is up to snuff. And I got to do my half hour. It was 4 times that weekend, and it was just huge because 4 different crowds. One was on Halloween, so like that was also a factor that was in there. And it really helped me build my confidence to be like, I can do this. Yeah. This is ready. Yeah. And again, the support of the scene where other comics would be like, that's a solid half hour, man. Like, I think you got it.
Totally.
And it's so nice to have that, of people who are just like excited for you and what you're doing. Yeah. In some scenes, if you try to do something, there's like all that insecurity where they're like, oh, I can't believe they're trying to do that. Oh, it's so dumb. What are they? And really, it's just because they're not doing it themselves. Like that's what they're insecure about.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, I do like that about here, where it's like, anytime someone is doing something, I'm like, sick.
Yeah, like awesome. Go
Let's
get 'em.
go. Yeah.
And I think it pushes you too when you have more of that mentality where you're like, hey, if my friend can do this and succeed, what do I need to work on to get to that point, rather than being like, I could do that, I'm ready to do that. Like it's a different feeling.
Yeah. What can I do? Yeah. What can I do to?
Yeah. Oh, that's great. He's doing that.
Yeah. Yeah. And it makes it. It's like it's possible. You know, it can happen for me too. And like I'm friends with a lot of people who are doing stuff, and I want to, you know, I want to work on it with people. You know, like that's the collaboration is also what gets me juiced up, you know. Like I'm shooting the Barrel Room tonight because I like helping Drew and stuff. Like he's hiring me to take photos and stuff, and it's like I love taking photos and like being able to provide that for comics, because it's a valuable thing, you know. And like and if the more people who have access to like better headshots or like better like quality tapes and stuff, then that's better for the whole scene. Everybody gets better faster. And then Denver's like one of the best places for comedy because we're all good.
Iron sharpens iron.
Exactly. You
watch someone,
biblical reference, baby. As iron sharpens iron.
The other, like the community thing, when you're talking about friends, I feel very fortunate that like the comedians again are like cool, fun people. And like you can go hang out with them and you're not like feeling weird the whole time, or like this is some sort of weird networking thing that you're doing. Like it's fun to meet people.
Totally.
There's always cliques and whatever things that are going on.
Sure.
But, like the people who play volleyball in the park and stuff all summer, where like, you can just show up and play volleyball with a bunch of comics. You know, it's low stakes. There's actual community. And that's awesome. And people are supportive of when you do things. So
that's the best.
It's great when you can do something and there are a bunch of comedians in your community who are like, what can I do to help? Like I'm trying to get 200 comments on the special in the first 48 hours. I am feeling optimistic that a lot of comedians in the scene are going to be like, oh yeah, I'll go help Sam out with that. I'll go do this quick.
100%.
And I don't think that would happen in a lot of scenes necessarily.
Yeah.
I could be wrong. I've only been in 2.
Sure.
In the Northwest, there is some support, but it's just so much different.
Yeah.
It's so different.
That makes sense.
Yeah. And I've been sort of, giving the Northwest a hard time. It is a really good scene. I'm so glad I started there.
Yeah.
But it is, I really enjoy Denver and the things that it brings that
Hell
I
yeah.
didn't have that were out there.
Yeah, dude, that's sick. I'm glad you're here.
Oh, thanks, dude.
Yeah, dude.
Me too.
Okay, I just got a couple of quick ones for you. What's the best breakfast food?
This is tough. I love breakfast food with a passion. I'm gonna go with, on sort of like an any day basis, I'm gonna go with the breakfast burrito. Like something like there aren't as many good ones out here, but in the Northwest in particular, there was a spot, Muchas Gracias is out there too. I'm forgetting the name that we used to always go there in campus.
Yeah.
But like a bacon breakfast burrito with like salsa verde on it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's where it's at. Yeah.
And then I'm also like a big. I honestly, I'm not going to start listing second place because there are so many breakfast foods that I love. And that's Denver is a good city for breakfast food. The food normally sucks out here. Like, but if you're going to do like brunch or breakfast food, honestly.
Yeah, we do nail brunch pretty good.
Brunch, yeah. Anything where alcohol is usually associated with it, Denver does pretty decent.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, I love a good breakfast burrito.
Oh, yeah.
There, also, campus food is just great. Like,
oh yeah, like your spot that's just off campus.
Yeah. There was a place called La Fiesta.
Yeah.
That was right. La Fiesta and DP Dough. I was in all the time. Like when I was going to college, like anytime I wake up hungover, we're going to La Fiesta. Anytime I'm out late, DP Dough. Like it was the best. Like that's where it's at. And then here we live on near campus, and then like all this food right here. Yeah, it's the best. Yeah. What's the best way to shovel a sidewalk?
So, growing up in Minnesota, we didn't. Okay, I can answer that. How much snow?
Good question.
This is important.
Let's say not like this much, not like a little half.
Not a dusting.
Not a dusting.
So like a solid amount.
So like like a couple inches.
So the best way to do it is depending on when the snow hits. Usually, like in Minnesota, the snow would hit overnight. So you're gonna do your preemptive shovel. You're gonna go out and you're gonna do a quick while it's building. You're gonna do a preemptive shovel to help you with the next day. The snow's less compact.
I knew this was a good question to ask you.
And then the next morning, you take out the snowblower and you snow blow, and you need to recruit one other person to help clean up behind you. Because if you live in a state with snow, you know that if a car drives over the snow, that stuff is stuck.
Yeah.
It is on there. You're going to have to take the I just call it the chiseler. I don't know the actual like
the chiseler.
The ice tool. We're going to like have to chop it up. And we used to have to do that.
The Rizzler's brother, the chiseler.
We used to have to do that on days where like we didn't have time to shovel beforehand or snowplow, and the car would have to leave.
Yeah.
Or my dad would be like, "All right, get the chiseler and we just go through and." So yeah, that would the proper technique I would say if you're gonna do as thorough of a job as possible is a preemptive shovel, a snowplow, and then you have someone with you who's shoveling the things that the snowplow is just missing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Damn. Well, that's a great answer. Dude, Sam, thanks for doing the pod.
Thanks for having me.
Where can people learn more about you and find you, and when's your special coming out?
Yeah, what I'm trying to...
It'll already be out by the time this comes out.
Okay, awesome. What I'm trying to grow right now is my Instagram, which is just @Sam Ellefson. There'll be a link right there that'll take you to the special. It'll be on my YouTube channel, so if you look up Sam Ellefson, Bones of Steel, you'll find it on YouTube. I'm trying to get 200 comments in the first 48 hours, which will probably be passed, but I would still love a comment. A comment anytime helps. Even if you aren't going to watch it, if you're just like, I just want to help this guy out.
Yeah.
Just put it in the background, leave a comment, let it play from beginning to end. Like, seriously, that does wonders.
Yeah.
And then I've also got a Facebook page linked to that. But those are the two best places to see what I got going on.
Hell yeah.
And then my website, samellefson.com, and I keep my tour dates and stuff on there.
Hell yeah. Bones of Steel. If it's
Bones of Steel!
If it's anything like his last one, it's going to be great. So I'm excited about
thanks,
it, dude.
Jared, appreciate
yeah,
it.
we'd say stay stretchy for the people.
Stay stretchy.
Hell yeah. Stone cold. I like it. Thanks, Sam.